Thanks so much, Brett. We'll have the latest on that situation tomorrow on Sunrise. Well, nearly 6 years have passed since Stephen Watkins was shot to death inside Shirley Skinner's home in the small farming town of Ashland. Skinner, an elderly great-grandmother, is now behind bars convicted of killing Watkins.
The case gripped Central Illinois for years. A nasty child custody court battle over Stephen and Jennifer Watkins' infant daughter is the source of bitter tension between the Skinner and Watkins families. And prosecutors allege a willingness to keep baby Sydney away from Stephen was the motive for murder. Shirley Skinner never took the stand in her own defense, and neither did any of her immediate family members. Her family members who were called to testify in front of a grand jury each, according to court documents, pleaded the fifth. All with whom we spoke told us they remained mum on advice of legal counsel. Shirley Skinner, now 79 years old, makes a startling confession, admitting to us that she killed her granddaughter's estranged husband, Stephen Watkins, with a single bullet that struck him in the back of the head. Skinner says it began after Watkins barged into her Ashland home on the night of November 25, 2008. He was there to pick up his baby daughter, Sydney, for his court-ordered unsupervised visitation.
And he looked and he said, "Where in the hell is Sydney?" And I said, "Well, she got sick, and don't give me that." He said, "I'm taking that kid tonight over her dead body." And he came in, and he got to my kitchen table, and I grabbed him by the arm, and I said, "Now wait a minute, Steve." And he turned around and grabbed me and knocked me down. That's when I fell into the wall, and it scared me so bad that I jumped up and I got the gun out of the cupboard. And I said, "Steve, stop. Steve." I yelled it 2 times. He didn't stop. And I fired. I thought, sure, I'd fire over his head. I didn't aim to kill him.
No one can back up Shirley's story with full certainty. Her granddaughter, Jennifer Watkins, says she was in the rear of the home changing Sydney, who had become sick just moments before the incident began.
I heard the door slam open, and I heard my grandmother's talking back and forth, and honestly, I didn't know who it was at first. And I heard her screaming, "Stop, stop," and then I heard a pop. And that's all I heard. I mean, it was a matter of seconds.
Shirley's husband, Ken, says he was in the couple's in-law suite. The door to the main house closed. He was watching TV.
Well, I did hear a thump and a pop, and I got up out of my chair and run through here.
In those few seconds it takes Ken and Jennifer to come running to her, Shirley says one thought began racing through her head.
After I shot him, I thought about shooting myself.
You thought about shooting yourself?
It scared me so bad. I took the gun and I laid it on a box.
Authorities say it was on this moving box that police found this 9mm Glock pistol Shirley used to fire the fatal bullet that killed Stephen Watkins, leaving him face down in a pool of blood just feet from the entranceway leading to the rear bedroom area where Jennifer says she was changing Sydney.
I didn't walk around the corner because I was scared, and I poked my head around the corner, and I saw him laying there, and I saw my grandmother. And I'm like, "What's going on?"
And I said, "Well, I shot Steve." My husband opened the door and kind of got, and he said, "Mom."
We showed Stephen Watkins' mother, Penny, extended edited portions of Shirley's jailhouse interview. Betty Watkins seemed to not only listen intently to Shirley's words, but also study closely her body language. When the tape stopped, Penny turned to me, telling me she wasn't buying any of it, especially 6 years after the fact.
And the only time now that she wants to come forth and say something and have you people give her a voice is because it can't be tried and it can't be scrutinized in a court of law. There's no examination, there's no cross-examination. You know, simple to put it, Shirley is a murderer, and she's a flat-out, unmitigated liar.
Understandably, the Watkins family is angry. Court documents show that Stephen and his estranged wife, Jennifer, were battling over custody rights for their 14-month-old daughter. The couple was due in court the next day for another custody hearing where some members of both the Watkins and Skinner families say they believe the custody judge was leaning toward giving Stephen Watkins unsupervised overnight visitation of baby Sydney, something Jennifer vehemently opposed, according to testimony from her divorce attorney. And Penny Watkins agrees with one of the state's prosecutors who told Shirley Skinner's jury that she had, quote, executed Stephen with a single gunshot to the back of his head.
These people are evil. We don't need evil in our life. But I believe he was invited in to wait for them to finish getting Sydney ready for the visit. I believe Jennifer probably hollered at him and said, "Steve, she's almost ready, come on back." I believe Shirley walked up behind him and shot him. And that's what I believe happened.
Skinner says she understands that deep animosity that Penny Watkins and her family feels toward her and her family.
I'd like to tell him that I'm sorry.
Most notably, she wishes that she could speak with Stephen's other daughter from a previous relationship, Alex, now 14, who Shirley says she has fond memories of before the bitter rift takes place between Stephen and Jennifer.
I would love her and tell her that I was very sorry for what I'd done to her dad. And I would never do anything to hurt her. I know I have, and I'm sorry. And I hope someday she can forgive me. I don't know if she ever can, but at least I'm asking.
She's had 6 years, never offered an apology. She was ordered in 2010 to make financial restitution to the family for the expenses we've paid. We've not seen anything. We've not seen a letter of regret. We've not seen an apology. We've not seen a dime of restitution. She hasn't even wrote Alex an "I'm sorry." Not one person in that family has ever said "I'm sorry" until at Shirley's clemency hearing.
I would also like to live the remaining years of my life enjoying time with my family, including my dad. But because of Skinner's vicious actions, my family cannot enjoy our remaining years with my dad in our lives.
At Shirley's clemency hearing last January, 14-year-old Alex Watkins, Stephen's other daughter from a previous relationship, made an impassioned plea to the Prisoner Review Board to keep Shirley imprisoned. Penny Watkins criticized Shirley for not making these statements before everyone at her hearing. However, the Prisoner Review Board does not allow incarcerated inmates to appear in person at clemency hearings. The Prisoner Review Board says that in lieu of being at the hearing in person, Shirley Skinner could have recorded a videotaped statement to be played for everyone, or she could have penned a letter to be read by a family member. When asked about those options, the Skinner family says they were unaware of those choices. So her husband, daughter, and Shirley's appellate attorney spoke on Shirley's behalf, citing her remorse and noting her failing health, a bad heart, 2 bouts with skin cancer, digestive and mental health issues as reason why her sentence should be commuted to time served.
Are you sorry Steve's dead?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yep, I am. I didn't like the things he'd done, but I can see that I wished we'd have done different things. Yeah, I'm sorry he's dead. Oh my, it's wrecked their family. It's wrecked my family.
One fact cannot be ignored. 1 week after Skinner's clemency hearing, Shirley's daughter, Debbie Webster, contacted ABC News Channel 20, saying that after 6 years, Shirley finally wanted to tell her version of events.
People may look at this again, Shirley, when we air this, and we'll say, hey, listen, it's her last ditch. It's the clemency board. She'll say anything to get out. She'll bring up these sexual abuse cases. She'll say, I did it. I should have said it then, but I didn't. Now I'm saying it.
You know, if I stay in here till I die, I'm not doing this for the last hitch. I just wanted to get it out, what really truthfully happened. I just wanted to get it out.
But we did discover something troubling while thumbing through Skinner's clemency petition. While examining the 37 letters written on Shirley's behalf, asking Governor Quinn for mercy, we noticed 12 of those letters look suspicious. These 9 read exactly the same, And the other 3, though different from the previous 9 letters, read word for word exactly the same as well. All but one of the 12 letters are signed from people who live nearly 2,000 miles away in British Columbia, Canada. When I asked Shirley Skinner's daughter about these letters, she admitted to me that they are form letters written by Skinner's cousin, Judith Brown. Brown sent the form letters to her friends and asked them to sign them. Debbie Webster admits that none of the 12 people who signed these form letters has ever spoken or corresponded with Shirley Skinner, even though 3 of the letters say, quote, "I have known Shirley for a while and followed the case."
Nice job on that report. I have a question for you, though. Where does the process with Skinner's clemency stand right now?
Well, Governor Quinn still has not made a decision, and frankly, he doesn't have to on Shirley Skinner's clemency. Now, you've heard Shirley Skinner's version of the events of the night that she shot and killed Stephen Watkins. She's claiming she killed him to protect her granddaughter and great-granddaughter. Listen.
Do you believe that if you had talked, your family had talked, and put up a self-defense case, do you think you'd be here?
No, I don't. No, I don't. If we'd just had enough sense to get up and talk.
Tomorrow, in the conclusion of 6 years later, we'll examine the self-defense theory and we'll take a closer look at Shirley's story and that of her granddaughter Jennifer and compare it to the evidence. Join us tomorrow night at 10.